Okay, we're at Western Iowa Tech here today in our motorcycle and power sports division. We're in our air-cooled V-twins class, and what we're doing is we're showing and demonstrating a different way to install the piston into the cylinder compared to the conventional way. Right now we got a couple gentlemen over here that are installing it the conventional way, where you put a ring compressor on and then compress the rings and put the cylinder from above. He just finished up there a little bit faster than I was ready for, but we are going to show you a different way to do it here. So Lionel, let's go ahead. You got your piston. Some notes of caution. We need to absolutely make sure, since we're working upside down, that the piston is going to be flipped onto the right direction onto the motor. So we're being real cautious about where we're going to set our intake side and our exhaust side. Some pistons have arrows, some don't, some have markings. Usually the intake valve pocket is a little bit larger than the exhaust one, but not always, especially aftermarket. Now he has set his, have you set the rings yet at 120 degrees? So our rings are set. That's a different procedure. You guys might have seen some other videos. He's got, let's get some more assembly lube on there before we put our tool on there. That's a big thing. Go ahead and just tip the piston up like this and lube it up. Grab it, got it. Lots of lube. You know, we're just using some motor oil because these are going into service right away. This brand of assembly lube we love though. It's great. It's nice and thick, kind of retains well. So he's got to make sure he doesn't twist his rings by accident while he's lubing them. He's just kind of double checking things there. Now he's just going to rest it on the cylinder on that top ring. This works nice as he's verified his intake side. Now he's going to start to install the ring compressor. Let's go ahead and now you got to lift that piston back up so we get all the rings. Lower your clamp. Your high up there. We got to make sure you get the entire set of rings. There you go. There you go. Okay. Now Charles here is installing the ratcheting clamp, and you don't have to weld these on. You just get them snug and everything you can do. Now to me it looks like your piston's there we go. We're straightened out. Did you notice how it was crooked? You guys might have caught that. Okay. Get her shut. Now on the open end here you have no open gaps, right? Okay, because we would not want an open gap to cross the wrist pin board per about every service manual in the world. So what they're going to do now is go ahead and tap that piston down into the cylinder. If there's any effort, you know, harder than that, you need to stop and think about that. You might have a ring that popped out or something isn't going right. So they're going to get it just to where the wrist pin is kind of covered up a little bit. Now he's going to lightly release this ratchet. Can you see where his thumb is there? He's got that off. Now he's going to flip the cylinder up. And what he's going to do here is he's just lightly going to tap that piston. Nope, you got to get your piston down. And he's going to make sure, once you lay that sideways, lay the cylinder sideways on the bench. Okay? Hold this up. Okay? It's hard for me to run the camera and do this. Now lightly, don't tap it too far through. He's just going to get it to just enough to where the wrist pin, not just a hair more. There you go, perfect. Okay, we want it to where a ring's not going to pop out, but we can get our wrist clip in. Now go ahead and watch what we do next. We got lots of lube on the pin. Double check that your piston is installed correctly. Let me get a video from above. So you guys could see here that there's this arrow down in there. We need to make sure that that is pointing towards the front of the engine on this Harley. Once again, that is not for every engine in the world, is for this one. So these guys are just going to work in unison. They're going to pop this pin in. And they will not wedge. They will never beat it with a hammer. They're not going to do anything. I think you might be cocked there as you started. Here, pop that back up. Okay, we got to have that nice and straight there. And what they're doing is lining up the connecting rod with that piston pin. So we'll pop it in. Make sure you don't pop that out. Now we have a tool for holding the crankshaft. Why don't we use it? Okay, we're good and seated and fully in. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch hands here. Alan's going to videotape for me. He's going to get nice and close here, and I'm going to demonstrate hold that up. You get a flashlight in here, you're going to shine that in there. Okay, where's your wrist pin clip? Okay, we need lots of lube, and I'm going to demonstrate, and what the idea here is hopefully you guys are going to be able to see. Let's get good and in there. We want to see if we're going to be able to demonstrate. First off, I'm going to point out this relief right here. Okay, this is going to be very important. That's not working. How about right there? Don't move. Right there. That's perfect. This relief right here is going to be very important. What I'm attempting to do is start this clip above. I do not want this open gap to be away from this clip, because that's how I remove it, and how you're going to see I'm going to install the pin really nice and easy. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it just sideways. I'm going to preload it on the one side. I'm going to keep my thumb on here so it doesn't go flying across the room, and I'm going to use a screwdriver, you're going to see, and I'm going to pop this in place. Now here's where people fail. Where's the wrong screwdriver? Okay, if you try and do this with too big a screwdriver, you don't have any room, and you're going to compress that clip to where you're going to damage it, or you're going to fold it. Let's back the camera up for a second. If you see here the shape of this clip, if it's distorted or twisted this way, you need to replace it. It's going to pop out of there, it's going to drag on the cylinder, it's going to be a big problem. So we want to make sure that this is really nice and flat. We always replace these. They're always brand new. So once again, I'm going to try and just take a picture of it down here. I'm going to take and wedge this on. Anybody got black Sharpie handy?
Right at the top.
Yeah, black Sharpie. Okay, let's do this. Let's draw basically what we got going on. So I'm going to preload this up here. I'm going to take my thumb and push it around. I'm going to have this small screwdriver weighting the width of this, and then I'm going to walk it in place. I'm going to have minimal bend. You could see here I'm barely going to bend that. If I were to take a big screwdriver, look how much more I would have to bend that. And I would basically fold this clip, I would ruin it, and that's why you have failures. So now let's go back up and let's demonstrate how to do it. And you guys should hopefully see in the video how to focus on. Now the cool thing about this is, for any wrist pin clip in the world, you do not want to have that open end. Now crazy on us, and we're going to try this again. Try it without bumping anything. So I'm going to preload this once again, and this is for you guys so that you can actually get in here. Now I'm going to come underneath in that relief just like we talked, and I'm basically just going to walk this thing right into place. No effort whatsoever. Did I fight that, guys? No. Clipped. I'm going to verify that I'm clipped on all edges. We're good to go. We're going to pull our rag out here. He's holding the crankshaft. Okay, go ahead and I'll let you guys tap down. Now as we do this, we're going to make sure that we don't pinch this gasket or that it lifts. We have an oil return hole, that's real important, and he's just kind of angling this along. Okay, as we get close here, let's make sure our gasket isn't pinching. Go ahead and finish her up. Okay, we'll square that up. We got 2 more nuts here. We're going to verify that we did a good job. Okay, just snug. Okay, now go ahead and rotate the engine, and we're going to see that it goes freely. Go ahead, ratchet it. Alright, life is good. That's a couple different ways you could do this and how to properly install wrist pin clips.